When I first started cooking, this was the first recipe that I ever wrote down. It is my take on a really old classic, which is beef and beans. I had a nice little crunchy layer on top and tweaked it with a few little extra recipes, and we ended up with what I call my Totopos soup. As this was the first recipe I ever wrote, it is really quite simple. All it is, as I said before, is beef and beans in a stew. So the first thing we're going to do is our beef. We want to caramelize it up, get some nice crust on the outside, because that's where you start all your flavor from. So our pan on, some oil on our meat, season it really well. Once your pan is nice and hot, pop it in there and get a real nice brown, caramelly, beautiful, crunchy crust on the outside. If you take this time at the beginning, you'll be rewarded at the end. Now, a lot of people think that you don't need to add oil to a non-stick pan. It's not necessarily true. Oil does help create a non-stick surface, but the main reason we're adding it is because it's a great conductor of heat. So oil transfers the heat from the bottom of the pan to the meat, and it means we get a more caramelized outside to our meat. And that's my little science lesson for the day, and I promise I won't preach to you again. Now we've got some great color on our meat, so that can come out, and it'll free up our pan to start building the next layer. All right, into the same pan, a little bit more oil. Some fresh tomatoes, so 1 tomato de-seeded and diced. 1 brown onion diced. 1 green chili sliced. 2 cloves of garlic diced. And some cumin, about a teaspoon. Give that a nice little mix. I'm going to cook that right down until the onions are translucent and it halves in size. So you can see that the amount of mass that's in there has gone down by about half, and we've got some real colour on all the veggies and all the spices that went in. Tomato paste can go in. We're using the Barilla Arrabbiata. It's got chili in it. I love chili. If you don't like chili, get the Bolognese one, get the Napolitana one, but I'm a massive fan of chili. And give that a mix in. And then once that's all mixed well, we can add back our meat. So our beef can go back in with all the juices. Give that a nice stir. And then refried beans. I love the combination of refried beans, which sort of become part of the soup and make it really smooth and silky, and the normal beans. So refried beans in. Mix them in. And refried beans are just really kidney beans or pinto beans that have been cooked down with some garlic and some onion and some chili and then mashed up. Once that's all mixed in, we add in our stock. And you can see just by that how it becomes part of that soup and becomes really silky and smooth and soft. Our stock goes in. Give that a mix. The last bit, which will be the beans, I'm going to put in at the end, because if I put them in now, they'll collapse. We're going to cook this for an hour and a half, and they'll just fall apart and end up like our refried beans, which I don't want. So that's nicely mixed in. You need salt. Salt will lift the flavour. A couple of bay leaves in there. Lid goes on, and we leave it for an hour and a half. If you've got a slow cooker, you can do this in the morning before you go to work, or as soon as you get home from work, you can put it on. But now's some time to relax. You've got an hour and a half, go and sit down with the kids, do whatever you want to do, kick your feet up. Our soupy stew has been ticking away for about an hour and a half, and now it's time to get it in the oven and finish it off. So this is where I stole a bit of an idea from a French onion soup. So we take our little soupy stew, pop it into your bowl. You need an oven-safe bowl, obviously. You want it to come up probably halfway up your bowl. If you wanted to reduce it down a little bit more, you could, but I like the soupy component of it. Then get some corn chips, place them on top, some cheese. So when we're all writing our first recipes, we kind of steal from other recipes. So this is definitely stolen from French onion soup. In the oven, about 20 minutes until that cheese melts and everything becomes nice and crunchy on top, and then you can get stuck into it. And that would be a cracking dish on a Sunday afternoon on the couch in front of the footy.